Donovan McNabb. Donovan McNabb. Statistically, Donovan McNabb is the greatest quarterback ever to put on an Eagles uniform. But Mick, listen to how the people in the own city that he played for remember him. Why? Because Donovan McNabb could not win the big one. Philadelphia cares about its teams. Philadelphia's fans have passion, and with that type of passion, they deserve someone who can win the big one.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. A little bit of a local angle from Raw that I forgot to get into, and I guess in conversing with Alex here, I forgot, oh yeah, that clip was there too. I meant to take a break a little bit later, so we'll shake up the format a little bit, change things around. But yeah, part of the debate, John Cena bringing up local Philadelphia quarterback Donovan McNabb, and to say the least, was that some of the loudest booing that you ever heard, do you think there, Alex?
Yes!
Were you one of the people booing when he said Donovan McNabb?
I think so.
You think so, but you don't remember.
Yeah.
There were a lot of other reasons to boo, but I don't think that well, I don't know. That was kind of on the that was a bit of a hot topic that even like the local sports talk station. I mean, I'm a Philly fan, you know, Phillies, Eagles, Flyers, Sixers, the whole deal. And I heard the sports talk stations bringing up, was it right for John Cena to basically rip McNabb for not, you know, or kind of lay him out there essentially to be booed, or I guess throw McNabb under the bus as he has thrown so many of his past teammates under the bus, at least in my opinion. I'm watching all my luck. Merrill's going to chime in on something on this. Wouldn't that be a hoot? I don't believe it. No, but I don't know. The thing that got me in like hearing some of the reaction to it is people would immediately dismiss what either The Rock or Cena would have to say regarding a pro sports athlete for, you know, football, baseball, basketball, hockey, because wrestling is of a different ilk and they aren't professional athletes. And that, I don't know, that kind of struck a nerve with me, and frankly, it's an incorrect statement. I mean, there are a lot of the wrestlers, you know, on the different rosters had athletic backgrounds prior to getting into professional wrestling. I mean, I'll throw out a few names just to give you an idea. I mean, the Big Show, for example, he played basketball for Wichita State, which, by the way, beat the LaSalle Explorers. What was it, 2 days ago, right, in the NCAA tournament? Yeah, they're playing again tonight. So I'm sure Big Show's got a rooting interest in that. Brock Lesnar, two-time All-American wrestler for the Minnesota Golden Gophers, and oh, by the way, former UFC World Heavyweight Champion. So he's made that transition, you know, from what people consider a fake or illegitimate sport in WWE to, you know, I don't think they're faking the cage fighting. Just throwing that one out there. I mean, The Rock, you know, sure, people know him as a wrestler, they know him as an actor, but he was a defensive tackle for the 1991 NCAA champion Miami Hurricanes.
The U,
yeah. Now I'm getting into Starship Matt's wheelhouse here because I'm talking, you know, sports that he actually follows. So some of these might actually make a little bit of sense. Ron Simmons, his number 50 was retired by Florida State University. He was an All-American nose guard and a 6th-round draft pick by the NFL by the Cleveland Browns back in 1981. Yeah, I can go all day with these. Starship, you're chiming in?
They had like 20 rounds in the NFL draft back then?
That I do, you'd probably know better than I would. I mean, let's see. In the 1981 NFL draft, I was minus 2 months. So I can't really say I was there necessarily. I at least was a twinkle in the parent's eye. But that's Actually, I think it was about a month before my... never mind. It's a whole nother... but, I mean, Dolph Ziggler, 3-time All-American wrestler from Kent State University. Jack Swagger, he talks about being a two-time All-American American. He was a 2-sport athlete, an All-American wrestler, and played defensive tackle for the University of Oklahoma. Boomer Sooner. Kurt Angle, 1996 Olympic gold medal in freestyle wrestling. How much more athletic can you get than that? Matt, your thoughts?
No, that's right.
Yeah, I know. I don't mean to be coming at you with this, but I know that you have more of the real sport perspective. And while you may not necessarily agree with those who say, these wrestlers aren't real athletes, I feel like I have to bring up some sort of an argument almost.
No, absolutely. And if you watched ESPN about a month ago to that whole, did you see that they did the greatest athlete of all time? And the winner of that was Bo Jackson. Mm-hmm. Because of his versatility.
Multiple sports.
You look at wrestlers, and a lot of them have a lot of versatility. Their background goes beyond wrestling. And you look at people in other sports, you consider a baseball player an athlete. A lot of those baseball players grow up just playing baseball. You put them on a basketball court, put them in a wrestling ring, they will show no talent whatsoever. And you see wrestlers, I agree, you can't say they're not athletes just because they chose to go in that direction because what they loved. A lot of them could be successful in other sports.
Oh, yeah, and I'll get to that in a second. There are actually pro athletes who have gotten into the ring and done a little bit of wrestling. I'll get into that in a sec. Maybe a couple more examples. Mark Henry, one of Alex's favorites, 2-time Olympic powerlifter. I mean, he lifted in the. He finished, I think, in the top 10 in both the 92 and 96 Olympic Games. Again, I mean, and he's a big dude, 6'8", 400 pounds, but that certainly doesn't mean he isn't athletic. I mean, dude, I've seen the dude dunk a basketball.
Eagles could use him at right tackle. I'd sign him.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, he's north of 40 at this point, so I don't know how much. I don't think you'll be signing him to a long-term deal. That's for sure. And I mean, to go back even to a classic name like the Big Cat Ernie Ladd. He was an NFL player, played for the Chargers, the Oilers, and the Chiefs, won an AFL championship back in 1963, and he's a WWE Hall of Fame wrestler. So there's a lot of crossover, and as I was mentioning a minute ago, you see it the other way too. William the Refrigerator Perry from the Chicago Bears. He got involved in the World Wrestling Federation back in '86. Back in the '90s with WCW, you had Karl Malone and Dennis Rodman wrestling in matches with like Hogan and Diamond Dallas Page and stuff like that. Steve Mongo McMichael actually, from that same Bears team, he parlayed his post-football career into an okay, not too terrible of a wrestling career, but he was around for a few years. He brought his now ex-wife Deborah to the mix, and that certainly wasn't bad. I'll have you look that up during the commercial break. I'll just
dropping all sorts of knowledge today.
I'm trying to. I try to drop knowledge every week, but I don't know. This had me incensed this week. So I felt like I had to bring some sort of defense. I mean, Bill Fralick, another NFL player, Floyd Mayweather. He was he faced the Big Show in that boxer versus wrestler match at WrestleMania 24, going back about. Wait, was it 20? I think it was 24. Man, I know. I'm so hyped up. I'm getting like scatterbrained here. And I mean, Lawrence Taylor from WrestleMania 11 back in 1995. He went up against Bam Bam Bigelow in the main event. You going to tell me Lawrence Taylor isn't an athlete? I'll tell you. Yeah, well, I don't think I could fully tell you what I could tell you and not get kicked off the air. I'll just leave it at that. So I mean, that's just. I don't know. That kind of. To take a line from Family Guy, that was something that grinded my gears this week, and I don't know. I felt the need to defend it. But let's take a look back to, or let's take a look at the WrestleMania lineup. There we go. There's 10 matches, and we'll put Alex on the spot here. Who he thinks is going to win each of the matches. We'll also test his memory to see, because I know some of the wrestlers, and you got introduced to a lot of them on Monday, and this will be kind of a learning experience. It's like, wait, learning? I'm on Easter break. It's a Saturday. Why do I have to learn? What's up with this? That's pretty much what I'm reading from your face. I could be wrong, though. All right, so you've got an 8-person tag. I just got angrily poked or punched. I'm not sure which. Poked? Okay. Duly noted. All right, so you've got this was set up after the stuff that happened on Raw. It's going to be an 8-person mixed tag match. 2 men and 2 women on each side. You've got the team of Tons of Funk, Brodus Clay and Tensai, the ones with the disco ball.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. Now he remembers.
Style.
Yeah, they were doing Gangnam Style. Yes. See, this is where you get the different take. This is what kids remember. You know, we remember work rates and this and promos and whatnot. He's like, they were the guys with the disco ball who did Gangnam Style. You know, hey, whatever works, whatever keeps people interested, I'm okay with it. But Tons of Funk teaming up with the Funkadactyls, Naomi and Cameron, the 2 women who were with them, against Team Rhodes Scholars, Damian Sandow and Cody Rhodes, and the Bella Twins, Brie and Nikki Bella.
Okay.
Who do you think's going to win that one?
The Funkasaurus.
You think you think the Funkasaurus team's going to win that one? I was gonna say I should probably jot these down. He's probably gonna pick better than I am when all things are said and done. So I think I'm gonna compare and contrast 2 weeks from now. That should be interesting. All right, Chris Jericho and Fandango. You remember Fandango, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he had the huge dance routine, that giant lit up. I don't even know how to describe it above the ring.
Minifigure thing.
Yeah, it was a mini figurine, it was more of a maxi figurine because of how big it was. All right, but Chris Jericho and Fandango, who do you think's going to win that one?
Dan Fango. I totally forget. I can't.
Dan Fandango, or
Yeah.
as he wants you to say it, Fandango. That was that was a big thing. He was trying to get people to say his name right. He's like the Rumpelstiltskin of the WWE. Hey, got to cater to the kids' humor. Kids get that. See, the 2 kids in the room understood that. Starship Matt and Alex here.
Just a man of the people, Fearon.
Yeah, put both of their ages together, they're still younger than I am. Kids today. All right, you've got Team Hell No, Daniel Bryan and Kane against Dolph Ziggler and Big E Langston for the tag championships.
Kane.
He's a Kane guy. All right, Daniel Bryan and Kane. This is interesting. I'm going to have to see. I don't think I'm going to totally mirror these, but so far, I think you're picking pretty much the way I would pick. I've trained you well. All right. One of your favorites from before you watch the event and one of your new favorites after you watch the event, Ryback against Mark Henry. Now
Mark Henry.
Sticking with Mark Henry, I was going to say both of them rather impressive in handicap matches on Raw. Mark Henry beating both of the Uso brothers in a handicap match in just over a minute and a half. And Ryback beating all 3 members of 3MB, including Heath Slater, who I interviewed here last week, in a little over 4 minutes. So based on that, I guess you could say that, I don't know, beating 2 people in a minute and a half, beating 3 people in 4 minutes, I don't know which is more impressive. But Xander's going with Mark Henry.
Yes.
I was waiting for you to keep going with the yes, but that's a Daniel Bryan thing. That was the match before. All right, Intercontinental Championship. We saw Wade Barrett, who, unfortunately, the thing you probably best remember from him was when Triple H came out and gave him a kick in a place that hurts a lot before his match. Defending his Intercontinental Championship against The Miz.
Miz.
You think The Miz is going to beat Barrett and become the new Intercontinental Champion? Okay.
It's The Miz.
It's The Miz, and he's awesome. Good point. You're smiling at me. All right, 6-man tag. Now, you saw them come in through the crowd, The Shield. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose against Randy Orton, Sheamus, and The Big Show. That should be a huge matchup, no pun intended.
Shield.
You're going with The Shield?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm sure my buddy Kyle somewhere who listens in, he's probably thanking you for that. He's a huge Shield fan as well. Not that you're necessarily a fan of them, but I'm asking you who you think will win, not necessarily who you like. Because so far, you've pretty much half and half. You picked half the good guys and half the bad guys.
Okay.
I know, it's such in-depth. All right, now we've got some of the bigger matches on the cards. The one that you've probably heard them talk a lot about. The World Championship, Alberto Del Rio and Jack Swagger. Alberto Del Rio had the personal announcer who was out there on the crutches, Ricardo Rodriguez. Do you remember that?
No.
No, not so much. All right. Well, who do you think? Who do you think? Do you think Alberto Del Rio will hang on to the title, or do you think the All-American American Jack Swagger will take the title from him?
Jack Swagger.
You're going with Jack Swagger. All right. Now you heard Triple H come out. He said what he was going to do to Brock Lesnar, including a word that including a word that you've probably heard but probably shouldn't have. Triple H, Brock Lesnar, no holds barred. That means anything goes. Weapons, all kinds of stuff. And if Brock Lesnar wins, Triple H has to retire. He'll never be able to wrestle again. Who do you think's going to win that? Brock Lesnar or Triple H?
I'm hoping Brock Lesnar.
Not a Triple H fan. I think you just made a lot of my listeners happy with that one. You're rooting for Brock Lesnar on that. All right, we got two more here. Now, you mentioned it earlier, CM Punk and The Undertaker. Who do you think's going to win that? The Undertaker, remember, at WrestleMania is 20-0.
Undertaker.
He's never lost at WrestleMania, and you think he's going to be 21-0 after this. And finally, oh man. All right. I'm sure I'm going to get a very opinionated thing on this one. The Rock versus
John Cena.
All right. Why do you think John Cena is going to win?
To get revenge.
To avenge his loss from last year?
Yes.
All righty. Not too terrible. Now, what about the Undertaker? Why do you think he's going to beat CM Punk? I mean, CM Punk has his urn. Don't forget. That's where his power is.
The Undertaker won 21.
He won 20 other times, so you figure he has to be 21 all right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, great stuff.
Can we go in there?
So that's that. All right, so going over your picks, you got the Funkasaur, the Funkadactyls, Fandango, Daniel Bryan and Kane, Mark Henry, The Miz, The Shield, Jack Swagger, Brock Lesnar, The Undertaker, and John Cena. That's not a bad lineup. How will I fare as far as my picks? We'll have to find out next week with my predictions starting to go wrong in a WrestleMania preview. All right, we're going to take a quick break, come back. We're going to talk some TNA as initially planned. We'll get to Ron and Ed the Showstopper who've been hanging on. And, we'll take a quick 30-second break. Come on back here on Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.